So one of the first times I took video out, I was fortunate enough to be boondocking in the middle of a beautiful open pasture surrounded by cows. It was very idyllic and very sunny. I put the awning out. As you know, the Hymer Aktivs come with an electric awning. It was fabulous. I had a glorious day. I camped all night. Next morning it was time to leave, and the awning would not retract. So imagine seeing this vehicle careening through a beautiful pasture with cows scattering like the wind, and the awning flapping in the breeze, trying to get to the farmhouse to ask for help. Well, help did eventually come in the form of a ladder and a screwdriver. And fortunately for me, I had done my research and I had an inkling on what I might need to do to retract the awning manually. And I'm going to show you that at the end of this video. I am going to show you how to open and close the awning. It sounds very simple, but there are a few little tips and tricks that will come in handy if you've never done it before. Let me show you. So this is an electric awning, and the button for it is on the control panel above the slider. To expand the awning out, you just push the up arrow. I have on occasion had it stick slightly, and what I've done is gone outside and gently placed pressure in the middle of the awning. It's basically directly over the engine, and it has released. So these are kind of fun to watch. I call them X arms. They pretty much expand out. Those knuckles, I sometimes spray them with a silicone spray to keep them lubricated. It helps keep things smooth. It also helps with eliminating a screeching noise that I had when I first used my awning. So the legs can be positioned straight down, or they can attach to the side of the vehicle. I'm going to show you the basics. The first thing is these clips. They need to be pulled gently to release the leg from moving within the shaft. There are these little plastic clips that are supposed to help stabilize the legs. I don't use them. So to move the actual leg, it sits behind a silver disc, and you would just push it back away from the disc, and that allows it to drop down. That lever is also what locks the leg in place once you have it at the height that you want. Gentle maneuvers on those levers. They're plastic. They tend to break pretty easily. The other thing that I generally try to do is make sure that my back leg is lower than the front leg. That allows any moisture or rain to wash off the back side of the awning, which is helpful if you're coming and going from the front. So to release the leg, you pull that little clip down again. It allows the bottom of the leg to slide in. I'm going to attach it to the side of the vehicle now to show you how that works. Generally, when I am attached to the side of the vehicle, I don't do it fully extended. I think it causes a little too much pressure on the unit. So it's pretty simple. There are these little clips on the side of the vehicle, and they have a little notch with a metal pin that slides up. You want to push that up, and that then allows you to put the leg or the foot of your leg into a notch at the bottom, and then that little slide comes down and locks it in place. It's a pretty good design. It's very nifty. And then you would lock the leg in place. So once again, I make sure that the back side is lower than the front side. I think I'm going to go inside and show you a view of that. Again, it's a moisture rain issue. If you haven't noticed, I talk about water and rain a lot because I've experienced one of the wettest summers in Florida. I will note that I believe Carefree makes a stabilization pole or system that if you want to keep the awning fully extended and attached to the vehicle, you can utilize that, and I'll put a link to that somewhere. So to take the awning down, you would just do everything in the reverse. The trick with getting the legs back in is to actually get the little foot of the leg behind the silver disc first, get it in place, and then you lock it down with that lever. as you can imagine, I use the awning quite a bit in Florida, both for the rain and also for the sunshine. I've found that it helps keep the interior of Betty cooler when there's a lot of direct sun out. Another thing I make sure to do if I have retracted the awning while it is still wet, at the first opportunity I get when it's dry and sunny, I pull the awning out to let it really dry off and then put it back in its case again. I just think it's better to not keep it damp. And I would be remiss if I didn't show you these lovely little LED lights that come on the awning, which are really fun at night. It provides a nice illumination if you're sitting out enjoying the evening under the awning. It also helps just with general coming and going in and out of the vehicle. It provides just enough light for one to see. So I use them quite a bit. And one more look at the awning folding up. I tend to keep the awning out by about 18 inches without any support. I've not had a problem doing that. And that actually is nice. It allows, if there's a little bit of a rain, it allows me to keep the slider open, or at least when I open the slider to come and go, I'm not inundated with rain immediately. It also kind of shades the unit. If I have the slider open and I'm sitting in that interior, it provides a little bit of a shade. A little tip, the awning does not work if the engine is on. So turn the engine off if you want that awning button to work. Now let's take a close look at the front end of that awning. So the awning has a cap on the front end. There is a Phillips head screw holding it in place. So you're going to want a Phillips screwdriver. And it also says to use a 3/8 inch socket. I find that the socket handle is that exact size. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take the screw out, put it somewhere safe, and then more than likely you're going to have to release that cap a little bit. I just used the socket wrench and tapped gently. There's a little notch, that mechanism between the frame right there I'm showing you, and there's another latch out on the cap. And that requires a little bit of coaxing. Anyway, then all you do is you put your socket wrench in that square little hole and you literally rotate it clockwise until your awning is all the way in. There will be a tiny gap. It won't go totally flush, and that is to allow you to put the cap back on. So to put the cap back on, you line up the little notch and the lever, push it in, tap in, put the screw back in place, and you are good to go. This at least allows you to get somewhere to deal with whatever situation has arisen that allowed you to not put the awning in with the electric button. And there we have it. Hi, I have a couple of last minute notes. The first one is, if you're going to be working on the roof, you may need a pot holder. It got incredibly hot up there, so just beware. The second one is, I have been researching ladders. I've yet to find one that I really like. It is a weight issue. I'm looking for something that's lightweight but strong. So in lieu of a ladder that allows me to get up and deal with the awning in case I have another issue, I bought one of these. They are very handy. I've used them before in my Subaru. They hook into the inside of the door right here. I will spare you all the indignity of me actually getting up on it, but I was able to successfully use it. The tricky bit was just what to hold on to. However, in a pinch, it will let me get up on the roof, so I'm going to keep this in Betty. And the last thing is, this is the lubricant that I spoke of earlier, and it's very handy to have. I suggest you all keep it in the RV. Do not be using WD-40. This is a dry lubricant, silicone, I believe. Anyway, that's it. I hope this was helpful. Till next time, bye-bye.